Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is May 2nd. The first month of the season is over. What's in store for May? Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with another episode of the middle of the order in a brand new month. That is right. We are no longer in April. We are in May. The first month of the season is done. 5 to go. How are we doing? Last episode ended a little bit weirdly. I was running out of time on my my system, my storages. So I planned it out to be perfect to the wire at 27 minutes, but I seem to have gone over at some point. That's why I had to rush through the upcoming schedule as well as my outro. But we are here. We are a brand new month, a brand new cleared out storage, and we are ready to rock and roll. So let's get on into our series recap. The Mets and the Nationals have a one-game run-over from last weekend, and it's all Mets, 19-5. Nimmo was 4 for 6. He had a 3-run home run and a grand slam. He totaled 9 RBIs, which tied the Mets' single-game record. McNeil and Vientos also homer in that game. So the Mets and the Nationals split a 4-game series 2-2. Yankees and Orioles. The Ryan O'Hearn 3-run home run helps them get the first game 4-3. But then it's New York as they start a game again with back-to-back home runs. The second time this season. It's crazy that it's happened twice. Grisham, Judge, and Rice back-to-back bombs. And then in the first inning, Sil Bellinger also gets a home run. So similar enough to the other game earlier in the year. Rice had a 2-homer day. Later, he hits another one, and then Austin Wells as well. 15-3 Yankees, and in the last game, Judge and Paul Goldschmidt hit home runs, but Mountcastle and Ramon Urias hit home runs for Baltimore. The O's take a 5-4 victory, take 2 of 3 from the Yankees. They needed that series. Red Sox and Blue Jays, it's all Boston in Game 1. Duran, a leadoff home run, and that's followed up by Alex Bregman, Christian Campbell, Rafael Devers, and Wilyer Abreu, who all hit home runs in this game, leading to a 10-2 Red Sox win. They're up 6-0 in Game 2, but the Jays come back from down 6. Varsho, Kirk, Santander, all homer. And then in extras, it's Alejandro Kirk, the hero. He hits a walk-off single. The Blue Jays get a must-needed win, 7-6, your final there. And in the last game, the rematch, it's another Jays comeback. Varsho hits a home run in the 7th. And then in the 8th, Vlad hits a go-ahead 3-run home run, 4-2 Blue Jays. They take 2 of 3 from the Red Sox. Royals and Rays, and it's all KC. 3-1 in the first game, 3-0. The second game, Vinny Pasquantino hits a home run in that one. And how about Noah Cameron? He took a no-hitter into the 7th inning in his MLB debut. Talk about a pitching performance. And the Royals go for the sweep and get it. Bobby Witt hits an early go-ahead 2-run home run in this one, and they lead it from there. 8-2, the final in that one. The Royals sweep the Rays. Twins and Guardians play a 4-game series. The Twins jump early. Eduardo Julia and Ryan Jeffers, they hit home runs in the first game. 11-1 Twins. But they should have spread out their offense across the 4 games because it took a nosedive. Bo Naylor and Ty France hit solo home runs in Game 2. And then Kyle Manzardo, he hits a walk-off home run in the 9th to win it for the Guardians. 3 solo shots only in this game, 2-1 Guardians. Then in this third game, the Guardians get a 4-run 7th inning with Bo Naylor hitting a 3-run home run. That would help the Guardians to a 4-2 win. And in the final game, this one goes to the 10th inning with the Twins score 1. The Guardians are able to answer that, and then Angel Martinez gets the walk-off single, and the Guardians take 3 of 4 against the Twins, win 2 of them via walk-offs, and that's a big series there for Cleveland. Brewers and White Sox, Isaac Collins hits his first MLB home run in the first game of this series. The Brewers score 4 in the 6th inning to run away with it, 7-2 the final there. Then in Game 2, 3 runs in the 8th inning helped them net the win, 6-4 your final there. But the White Sox don't go away quietly. Miguel Vargas hits a home run in the last game. Luis Robert Jr. had a 4 RBI night. 8-0 White Sox. They avoided the sweep. Brewers take 2 of 3 there. Tigers and Astros now, and it's a home run kind of night in Daikin Park. Kerry Carpenter and Riley Green homers twice for a total of 3 Tiger home runs, but Christian Walker and Altuve go deep for the Astros. The Astros take an 8-5 victory in Game 1. Carpenter comes back in Game 2, hits another home run, and Glaber would join him there. But the Astros score 3 runs in back-to-back innings late. They take a 6-4 victory there. And again, the home runs carry out. Jeremy Pena and Victor Caratini home runs for the Astros. Caratini's first of the season. And how about Colt Keith getting his first home run of the season? And how about Javier Baez? He hits a grand slam in this one. The Tigers avoid the sweep. They get a win in Houston, 7-4, the final there. A's and Rangers in a 4-game series. The A's take the first game 2-1. Then it's 15 runs for Texas, all without a home run. They scored 8 runs in the 6th. How about that? They take a 15-2 victory there. But then the A's come back in Game 3. Brent Rooker, a 2-run home run, and Lawrence Butler, a grand slam. Both those home runs were in the 9th inning to blow open this game. From a 1-1 tie to a 7-1 final, the A's win that. And they finish it off with a 3-0 victory on the Thursday. So that's 3 of 4 heading the A's way as they take down Texas in a big series there. Angels and Mariners playing a little weird 2-game series here. And the Angels continuing to fall off the face of the planet. Polanco, a 2-homer day. He picked up all 5 of the Mariners' RBIs in this one. Ohapi gets a home run for the Angels, but it's too little, too late. 5-3 Seattle. And then in the other game, Randy Arozarena, Jorge Soler, both of them hit home runs for their respective teams. But the Mariners, they get a 6-run 7th inning. That's a big difference in this one. 9-3 the final there. Mariners take the 2-game mini sweep over the Halos. D-backs and Mets. The Mets are rolling. Lindor, Marte, and Alonso all homer. It's an 8-3 Mets game, your final there. In Game 2, the Mets almost came back. The D-backs scored 2 insurance runs in the 9th inning, and it's a good thing they did that because the Mets were able to score 2 runs, but not that extra third. D-backs get a 4-3 victory. And in the match, it's finally Juan Soto's time. He hits his first 2 home runs as a Met in Citi Field. He has a 2-homer day, his first multi-homer day as a Met. But the Diamondbacks win. Perdomo and Tim Tava, they hit home runs for D-backs. It's 4-2 your final there. Those solo home runs, both total shots, and the only 2 runs on the game. D-backs take 2 of 3 from New York. Nationals and Phillies for a 3-game set. Kyle Schwarber, Johan Rojas, Luis Garcia Jr., all of them home run. And how about Nathaniel Lau, whose home run puts the Nationals up 1 in the 9th inning. And yet the Phillies still win this game. They scored 2 in the 9th and score the winning walk-off run on a wild pitch from Kyle Finnegan. Tough way to lose the game if you're a Nationals fan. 7-6 your final there. In Game 2, it's Schwarber again. He's joined by Max Kepler and JT Realmuto as those 3 Philly home runs lead to a 7-2 victory. But the Nats don't go away quietly. They score all 4 runs in their last game in the 6th inning, and they can hold the Phillies to 2. 4-2 Nationals in the final there. Phillies take 2 of 3 against Washington though. Pirates and Cubs. This Cubs team is different, man. Carson Kelly, Pete Crow Armstrong, Seiya Suzuki, Dansby Swanson, the 4 of those Cubs homer in Game 1, 9-0 Chicago. McCutcheon gets a clutch 2 RBI go-ahead double in the 7th inning. That's the difference in Game 2, leading to a 4-3 Pirates comeback win. But then in the last game, it's Swanson again. It's Tucker, not again for Tucker, but it's Suzuki again. All 3 of them homer off of Paul Skeens in the 5th. How about that? Suzuki would hit another home run later in this game. So Suzuki, 3 home runs in the series. 8-3 Cubs, the final. They take 2 of 3 from the Pirates. Cardinals and Reds, a 4-game set. Jose Trevino, he gets a home run in the first game. The Reds take a 3-1 win there. The second game is rained out, which means a doubleheader on Wednesday, and it's St. Louis, kind of a doubleheader. Not sure what I said there, but it's 6-0 Cardinals and 9-1 Cardinals. Mason Wynn, he gets a 2-homer game, and Lars Nootbaar goes deep in that first 6-0 win. And then Contreras and Pedro Pages both homer in the 9-1 game, both a part of 9 runs in the first 3 innings. The Cardinals were on a roll on Wednesday, but on Thursday, the Reds come back. Trevino hits another home run. Spencer Steer goes deep. 9-1 Reds. The 2 red teams in the NL Central split the 4-game set 2 apiece, which means we go now to the Giants and the Padres, who, like the Mariners and Angels, play a weird little 2-game series here. And the Padres take both of them against the Giants 7-4. Bogarts hits his first home run of the year in that game. And then 5-3, Elias Diaz gets a home run for the Padres. Heliot Ramos and Mike Yastrzemski go deep for the Giants, but they still fall short. 5-3 the final there. Padres, the 2-game mini sweep against San Francisco. Braves and Rockies. Hunter Goodman hits a 3-run home run for the Rockies. But from there, the Braves score 6 unanswered. Take the opener in the series 6-3. Michael Toliak gets the only home run in the second game for the Rockies. The Braves scoring a bunch, and they're doing it without the home run in Coors Field. 8-2 Atlanta in that game as well. But in the final, Brenton Doyle hits his 4th home run of the year in the 3rd inning. That's the difference in this one. That breaks up the 1-1 tie. 2-1 Rockies, your final. Braves take 2 of 3 from Colorado, though. And that brings us to the Marlins and Dodgers, the largest payroll difference between teams in MLB history. Dodgers in the 10th inning win this game. Teoscar Hernandez, he would go deep in this one. Dane Myers hits a game-tying grand slam in the 6th. That's how we ended up in extras. And Tommy Edman, on the first pitch he sees, he swings, and he wins the game. Walk-off single for Edman. 7-6 Dodgers, your final there. Then it's an absolute smacking. Ohtani, a leadoff home run. Andy Pages goes deep later on. Teoscar Hernandez, 4 RBI night. And how about Kike Hernandez coming in to close the game wearing the pitcher helmet for the first time I've ever seen that. 15-2 Dodgers, your final there. And in the last game, it's Max Muncy, it's Freddie Freeman. They homer for the Dodgers. Kyle Stowers had a good game for Miami, 2-homer day for him. But in the end, the Dodgers sweep the Marlins, a 12-7 victory there. And that is your series recap. All right, now let's take you to the game of the week, and we're taking you north of the border into Toronto for the game against the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, second game of the 3-game series, where it's Wednesday. This game started off pretty eventful. Duran gets on. Devers drives the ball deep into the gap. A nice throw from Barger to Bichette to home plate. Kirk tags out Devers trying to score. Devers at second. Wild pitch, then scores on a buck in the top of the first. And then Alex Bregman hits his 7th home run on the year, his 2nd of the series already. And it's quickly 2-0 Boston in this one. Top of the second now. Boston's not done adding. Duran gets an RBI single. Devers scores him this time on an RBI double. And all of a sudden, it's 4-0 Boston. It would stay this way until the top of the 6th, where Carlos Narvaez hits his 3rd home run of the season. A 2-run shot puts Boston up 6-0 in the 6th inning. The Jays' offense just continuing to struggle and struggle and struggle. But I'll tell you what, they added Dalton Varsho back from the IL a couple days ago, and he has been hitting, and he hits one today. A 2-run home run in the bottom of the 6th, his first of the season, I think his 2nd or 3rd game. He gets Toronto on the board 6-2, and he goes back-to-back with Alejandro Kirk, who hits his 2nd home run on the season. It was their bobblehead night, his bobble arm night for Alejandro Kirk. Would he have a big game later on in this one? The very next inning, Ernie's on, Vlad's on, Anthony Santander up to the dish, and he crushes a no-doubter 3-run home run. This game is tied 6-6. The Jays from down 6 to up 6. We head into extras. Jeff Hoffman does his thing, holds Boston, bottom of the 10th. Vladdy at second. He gets to third. They walk Springer, they walk Varsho purposely, and Alejandro Kirk, with 1 out and the bases loaded, delivers on his bobble arm night. An RBI walk-off single wins it for Toronto, 7-6, 7 unanswered runs, down 6-0. Grit from the Blue Jays, the first time this season that I've seen it. I was lucky enough to be at this game, so that's why a little bit more of a special for me for Game of the Week. But I mean, really, it was a fantastic game to go to, and I was very pleasantly happy with the outcome there. So let's dive into some news here. I want to talk about, we're in May. We're already the first month down. I want to talk about some of the surprising teams we've seen this year. Starting off with the Mets. I mean, the Mets I thought were going to be good, but they are right now sitting the second best team in baseball, but they were the first team to 20 wins. And I mean, that was definitely not on my bingo card. I thought they would struggle earlier on-ish and then get better as the year would go on when their pitching got healthier, because right now they're without Sean Manaea. They're without some of their key pieces. And I mean, so far it's been really well for the Mets. They've worked out really well. They're 21-11, half a game back of the Dodgers for first in MLB. And I think that's a big thing for them. And I think if they can keep that rolling, you're going to have the Phillies chasing you guys down. You're going to have the Braves. I think eventually, the Braves are getting back to kind of regular Bravish activities. And remember, we should be getting Acuna back at some point this month. If the Braves get Acuna back, who knows what that will do for their momentum. But the Mets so far are hot. They're doing really well. Some other teams here, Giants, Cubs, and Tigers. Some three of the most surprising teams, I would say, because I kind of, you don't kind of think about it. Like, I thought the Cubs would be, I said they were going to be division winners, but they're 19-13. They're not only first in the division, but they've done a really good job at holding on to it when the Brewers came in and were trying to knock, and now the Reds are coming and trying to knock. The Cubs have held their ground really well. I think their pitching's been dominant. I think the offense has been some of the best Cubs offense we've seen since the Baez, Rizzo, Bryant days back in 15-16. This is a really exciting Cubs team. I think this is one of the best Cubs teams we've had in a couple of years. Seeing Kyle Tucker out there, Suzuki's been crushing. Even Swanson, who's technically struggling, is still popping up some home runs. Piquet Armstrong's been electric. Really good there. The Giants, I mean, from years of kind of just average, 500 baseball teams, except for that weird 2021 season where they put up 107 wins and was better than the Dodgers. But the Giants are 19-13. They're off to a nice start. Mike Yastrzemski's been dealing. Elliot Ramos has been great. Patrick Bailey's been good. Logan Webb's been a star. So the Giants are cruising. And then how about the Tigers? They're 20-12. They're one of the three teams right now that have 20 wins. And I mean, I said the Tigers were going to be fun and good. I thought, Tigers and Royals coming off of last year, one of them would get going. One of them would have a little bit of a bump. I picked the wrong team here, but the Tigers have been, Kerry Carpenter, Javi Baez. Can we talk about Javier Baez for a second? Because I have not seen Javier Baez like this in a long time. I'm not going to, I guess I am going to mention it now. The Tigers started a 4-game series against the Angels yesterday on Thursday. He robbed a home run. He's playing center field now. What's going on there? And he's been playing well. He's been hitting the ball. I think his average is a 315 something. He's got a home run or two. Javier Baez. Let me see if I can pull up his numbers really quickly. He's been really good, and that's part of the reason why I think the Tigers have been really good. You pay a guy this much money, and he's batting less than 200 and can't hit a home run. That's not good. So far this season, he has a 1.2 WAR. That's his highest WAR already since 2022, where his first year in Detroit, he had a 2.4 WAR. In 2023, he had a 0.8, and last year he was negative 1.1. But so far in 26 games, he's got 25 hits. He's got 2 home runs, 12 RBIs. He's got a 760 OPS. That's his highest OPS since 2021 when he was with the Cubs and then got traded to the Mets before signing a deal with the Tigers. He's playing his best baseball with Detroit right now in his 4th season with the team. That's really good, really electric. So those 3 teams, very surprising. How about the A's, Reds, and Royals still? I know I mentioned all the Royals would get going and everything, but these are 3 teams that I'm so used the last couple of years to seeing towards the bottom of the standing sheet. And all 3 of them are comfortably sitting 17-15, 2 games above 500. The Royals are in the hunt for a wild card. The A's are in the hunt for a wild card. They're technically tied for the 6th seed right now, A's and Royals. And the Reds half a game out of a wild card. So they're in a mix of wow, I'm surprised how high you guys are, because usually Kansas City would be a bottom two team, and the Reds are a bottom two team, and the A's have been a bottom two team. So seeing these teams, this high and where they're at is very exciting. It's very fun to see, those two teams above the Red Sox, above the Rangers and the Brewers and the Braves and the Cardinals, and just some of the teams that you don't expect them to be better than. So they've been off to a very nice start this month. And then on the flip side, the Orioles, very bad. They're 12-18. You think with all that offensive talent, they wouldn't be 6 games below 500. But the pitching's definitely played a part in that. Boston needs to figure it out sooner than later. They got to get going. And then how about the Rockies as well? I mentioned how the Mets are the first team to 20 wins. Well, the Rockies were the last team to 5 wins. They got that this week. They're 6-25. It's safe to say their season's already over, but at this point, you're just kind of competing to not be the worst team in baseball history, trying to at least be better than the White Sox were last year. They're only 2 games worse than the White Sox. Don't get me wrong, the White Sox are still bad, but they're 8-23 at least. The Rockies 6-25, a little bit worse. They actually won yesterday. They started a 4-game series, and it's the first time this season that they've won back-to-back games. So I don't know. It's tough there for Colorado. Let's see how they go. And, it sucks because I think this is like almost their window. They got young kids coming up. Michael Tolia's been good. Zach Veen they called up. Chase Dollander. They've got guys and some notable prospects and top talent, and they're still that bad. It's definitely tough. But of course, they're in a tough division where they're pretty much going to get bullied. But yeah, that's what I have for my surprising teams for the first month here. Let's move on to some other news. Baltimore and New York had a bench clearing incident over the week here. I believe it was in the third game, don't quote me. Anyways, Heston Kjerstad was stealing second base. The throw from, I believe, Wells pulled Pablo Reyes off the bag. He jumped to try to save it from going into center field, which he did, but then came down kind of right thigh on the back of Heston Kjerstad's head. He did not enjoy that. Some words were exchanged. The bench is emptied, but at the same time, I don't think anyone's in the wrong here. Pablo Reyes is trying to not have the ball go into center field, because if that happens, Kjerstad could get up and go to third. But if you're Kjerstad, you're sliding into second and some guy lands on your head, you're not exactly going to get up and be like, hey, that was fun. No, you're going to be upset. I think he deserved to be a little upset. Pablo Reyes, obviously could have apologized a little bit better and kind of de-escalated it quicker. But, everyone gets to run out. Everyone says, hi, how's it going? Everyone goes away. Bench is clearing. That is that incident there. Moving on. We've had some interesting options over the week here. And I say interesting because it's major league talent, or at least you would think major league talent. The Braves optioned Kelenic to AAA. The Reds optioned Alexis Diaz to AAA. And the Rangers optioned Jake Burger to AAA. So, let's just dissect that for a second. So Kelenic, once a top prospect in the Mets organization, he got traded to Seattle. He got debuted there. He kind of came up and he was kind of a spark for a little bit in 2021. Kind of a spark play. Didn't play super great, but he was still a very hype man. Still had a couple of clutch at-bats, a couple of clutch home runs. Good stuff all the way year round. Following year, struggled. Then in 2023, kind of had that, okay, this is the Kelenic we'd expect to see. A 253 average, 746 OPS. He had a decent year, played 105 games. He then goes to Atlanta last year, and he was okay. He had a career high 15 home runs, didn't really hit the ball for contact. He had a 231 average and a 679 OPS. So down stuff there. So far this year, he's got into 23 games. He has 60 at-bats and only 10 hits, 2 home runs. He's batting 167 with a 531 OPS. I think the hope is for him to figure it out. He was a top prospect, one of the top prospects in baseball. I think he was top 10, top 5 even in 2020, 2019. I kind of remember him there. And so far in the big leagues has yet to figure it out. across the 5-year career so far. 406 games, a 211 batting average, a 658 OPS, and 49 home runs. So hopefully a trip to AAA will help him figure that out. Alexis Diaz, same thing. I mean, it's kind of crazy, kind of similar to kind of David Bednar when he's just like, all of a sudden he's been bad. In 2022, he made his major league debut. Of course, this is Edwin Diaz's brother. He finished top 5 in Rookie of the Year voting. He had a 2.9 WAR, 7-3 record, a 1.84 ERA, 10 saves. He was great. He became the Reds' closer. In 2023, he was an all-star. In 71 games, he had 37 saves, a 3.07 ERA. Solid stuff there. 2024, he started off the year really good, and then struggled kind of from June onward. 60 games, 56 innings, a 3.99 ERA, 28 saves, had some blown ones. But so far this year, it's been tough. 6 games, 6 innings, 8 earned runs. His ERA is 12 right now. So the Reds are hoping he'll be able to figure it out. And then Jake Burger, I didn't realize that he had been playing this poorly for Texas, considering they went out, they traded for him, brought him in. And I mean, it's also interesting, like, Jock Peterson was 0 for 41. He was struggling. Jake Burger also struggling so far. 30 games. He has 19 hits, 3 home runs. His batting average is 190. His OPS is 561. This has easily been so far since, debuting in 2021 with the White Sox. Man, he's only been in the league for 5 years. He's only 29 years old. That's kind of crazy. This has easily been the worst season of his career so far. So hopefully he's able to fix it up in AAA. He'll come up and start mashing the ball for Texas because they do really need that. I mean, the AL West has kind of had a flip-flop in the month of April. We were talking about, the Angels in Texas battling for first and second, and they're really good. And now the Angels are last, and the Texas is second last. The A's, Astros, and Mariners all 3 of those teams have blown by the Texas and Angels. And when they played, second week of April, they were battling for first in the AL West. They were both off to really hot starts, really good starts. And recently, it's not been that. Texas, 3-7 in their last 10. They're struggling. Angels even more so. They're 2-8 in their last 10 on a 6-game losing streak. They were 12-12 at 500 and have proceeded to drop the last 6 games. So definitely some struggles there from the Rangers, from the Angels there. That AL West shaking it up a bit. And hopefully those few players can figure it out. We had some new City Connects get released this past week. Last week I mentioned, not last week. I forget when I mentioned the Diamondbacks league. We haven't officially gotten those ones yet. We did get the White Sox new City Connect and the Marlins new City Connect. Interesting thing with the White Sox, it's very reminiscent of NBA and the Chicago Bulls. They actually have the Chicago Bulls logo mixed in with the White Sox logo towards the bottom of the jersey. I think it's a really cool jersey. It's definitely not as good as the Southside jersey, which is the interesting thing with the White Sox because we've seen teams with their now second renditions of their City Connect jerseys retire the first one. The White Sox, I believe, said that they weren't doing that, and they would still wear their South Sox City Connect jersey, kind of alternating with their new one, which I think is really cool because I kind of don't like the idea of these these jerseys that are really cool. Fans go crazy for them, they purchase them, and then after 2-3 years, the team just stops wearing them altogether. I'd still like to see. Other teams still wear some of their older City Connects every now and then. Obviously you want to give the newer one more love and attention, but I just don't like the idea of retiring it all together. Like for me, with the Padres, they're getting a new City Connect next year, and it's already been announced and released that they're retiring their current City Connect, and I think it's one of the best ones, and I definitely want to get a jersey of that kind. So I got to do it by this year because then next year it's going to be hard to do so, and all that stuff. So White Sox, new City Connect. The Marlins, new City Connect. I think Miami's the only team that have gone a definite society thinks 2 for 2. I think all baseball fans, most of them that I've seen their opinions of, they thought the first Miami City Connect was great. The second one, even better. I think the coloring, the black act, the pink and blue, pinstripes across instead of going vertical instead of horizontal or vice versa. I think it's really cool jersey. Check those out if you haven't. But 2 new City Connects should be debuting this week, next week, etc. But yeah. Last bit, of baseball news here. A little bit more on the graphic side. A Pirates fan accidentally made a drop from the Roberto Clemente wall in right field during the Pirates' win on, I believe, Wednesday or Tuesday. I forget when their 3-game series was, but the game where McCutcheon got the 2 RBI double, it was just after that someone was recording, the hype and of the crowd and everything, and actually caught footage of the man falling off the wall. He's still hospitalized. It's a very scary situation. McCutcheon, he had an interview kind of being the face of that Pirates franchise and talking about how the team's been, trying to reach out to family and hope that, the whole team is, shaken up by the whole thing and praying for him and a speedy recovery. I believe that he was only 20 years old is what I saw in an NBC report. So yeah, hopefully, still hospitalized. Hopefully he's going to be making a full recovery and everything. But yeah, definitely a scary situation, coming out of Pittsburgh and PNC Park. I mean, it's one of, in my, as a baseball fan in general, I think PNC is like one of the most beautiful ballparks in the league. It's one that I would love to go to and watch a game from, and see, Paul Skeens and all that stuff. But yeah, that's definitely a scary situation to have happened. I think it's like 21-foot drop I saw. So definitely not something that you can kind of walk away from. But shout out the MMTs, the medics that came on rushing and helped the fan out, got him, hospitalized quickly and brought him to the hospital there. So good stuff all the way around in terms of, the efforts made to ensure the fan was okay. And again, hopefully he is okay. And yeah, just wanted to mention that because it was definitely a scary situation for those who were attending, to just see that. All right, now let's move on here. Let's get into the usual dailies. Injury updates. Going forward here, we have Tyler Fitzgerald from the Giants. He's on the 10-day IL with a fractured rib. Tyler Glasnow on the 15-day IL with right shoulder inflammation. Always Glasnow on the IL. I feel so bad for him. Jordan Westberg, 10-day IL, strained hamstring. Luke Raley, 10-day IL, strained oblique. Jazz Chisholm also with a strained oblique, 10-day IL for him. And the big one here is unfortunately Mike Trout. He's on the IL with a bone bruise. He was taken out of the game a couple of games ago. People were worried, concerned. He is going on the IL, but only a bone bruise. It shouldn't be anything crazy, no structural damage. So hopefully, a short stint for him, and he'll be back and mashing the ball real soon. Moving on here, we have our outstanding performances. Pretty short list this week, I feel like. Michael Lorenzen, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 4 Ks. Jacob deGrom, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts there. Tanner Bybee, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 5 Ks. Luis L. Ortiz, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks. How about Noah Cameron from the Royals making his MLB debut? Goes 6 1/3 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 5 walks, 3 Ks, a no-hitter into the 7th inning in your Major League debut. Very impressive there. Carlos Rodon, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 Ks. Nathan Eovaldi, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, an earned run, no walks, and 8 strikeouts there. And then Zach Gallen, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, and 8 Ks are your outstanding performances. Moving on now, we have our stat leaderboard. Aaron Judge continues to rake, and for me, it's the average, which is just blowing my mind. 427 average for Aaron Judge. He leads in average. He leads in hits with 50. He is now tied for the lead with home runs. He joins Eugenio Suarez and Cal Raleigh, the 3 of them, all on 10 home runs. He's tied with Aaron Judge for RBI. With Teoscar Hernandez for RBIs with 32. So Aaron Judge currently leading in average, hits, home runs, RBIs, and of course OPS. He's at a 1.282. Shohei leads in runs at 32. Ozuna and Chapman still tied for walks. They both had 24 last week. They now both have 26 this week. And then instead of O'Neill Cruz leading in stolen bases, it's now Elly De La Cruz, as well as Luis Robert, who are tied with 13 stolen bases. Luis Robert has stolen a base in his last 5 straight games, so he's been pretty quick on the base pads. For pitching, for wins, it's still a 4-way tie, but instead of it being Max Fried, Brandon Pfaadt, Nick Pivetta, and Brady Singer, it's Max Fried, Brandon Pfaadt, Nick Pivetta, and Casey Mize. How about that, Detroit? The 4 of them, all with 5 wins on the year. For ERA, it is Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who is at a 1.06. He actually is on the mound today, so maybe that gets lower. Maybe it blows up and goes way high, so who knows? But Yamamoto leading the league in ERA currently. Mackenzie Gore still leads the league in strikeouts with 59, and then Robert Suarez still leading it in saves with 12. So how about that? Our upcoming series for the first weekend of May, the first series of May realistically, the Rays are in New York to take on the Yankees. Twins at Red Sox. Royals at Orioles. Guardians at Blue Jays. Astros at White Sox. Tigers at Angels. Mariners at Rangers. A's at Marlins. D-backs at Phillies. Always a fun one there. Dodgers at Braves. Interesting one there. Nationals at Reds. Mets at Cardinals. Cubs at Brewers. Padres at Pirates, Rockies at Giants. So some good and fun, interesting series there. And that brings us to our playoff predictor. If the season ends today, this is your playoffs. The Royals are in the 6th seed in the wild card there, taking on the Yankees as the 3 seed. And then the Astros at the 5 seed, taking on the Guardians in the 4 seed. Yankees beat the Royals. Guardians beat the Astros. So our ALDS matchup, Yankees at Mariners. Guardians at Tigers. Mariners beat the Yankees. Tigers beat the Guardians. So you got your 1 seed, your 2 seed, Mariners at Tigers. And it is your Detroit Tigers who head to the World Series. On the NL side of things, the D-backs are in the 6 seed. Cubs in the 3 seed. Giants in the 5 seed. Padres in the 4 seed. Giants at Padres there. Again, all 4 of the 5 NL West teams in the playoffs. I hope that keeps it up. D-backs beat the Cubs. Giants beat the Padres. How about that? So we have our NLDS matchups of Giants at Dodgers, D-backs at Mets. Dodgers beat the Giants. The D-backs beat the Mets. So you have your Arizona Diamondbacks, your Los Angeles Dodgers for your NLCS. The Dodgers beat the Diamondbacks. So our World Series matchup is your Detroit Tigers and your Los Angeles Dodgers. Your Detroit Tigers are your 2025 World Series champions. That is your playoff predictor. That is our episode here today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you everybody so much for tuning on in. I appreciate you all. That's it for me. Thank you everybody, and I will see you on Monday.